Hey, it's Paul Seaver again. I have a little instructional video on Ocean Mist. A lot of people don't understand Ocean Mist and they keep asking, what is it? How does it work? Everybody always wants to talk to you, and so I'm just going to make a video. So anyway, what is it? Ocean Mist is an organochlorine electrolyzed, functional electrolyzed water. Nobody knows what any of that means. So we make an organochlorine that is not considered a pesticide by the EPA simply through electrochemistry and using table salt. But we have very specialized generators. It's not hyperchlorous acid. It's not hydrochloric acid. It's not hyperchlorite. It's none of those things. When you manufacture a product and you put a label on it, you have some very specific rules that you have to go by that has to do with the EPA. And if you're not one of those things, you can't identify as one of them. But you also can't make any kill claims either. So it's a organochlorine cleaner. That's what it is. So I guess that's about as far as I'm going to go with that, because we're not really going to get deep into that stuff. Okay, so now, generally people understand hyperchlorous acid as a chlorine cleaner. Well, as a chlorine sanitizer, not as a chlorine cleaner. It's actually not a cleaner. You have to pre-clean surfaces before you sanitize with hyperchlorous acid. So, but a lot of people recognize that, for measuring chlorine. Just like in your swimming pool, you're measuring hyperchlorite, this, that, and everything else. Well, chlorine is chlorine. You could measure it. So here, my organochlorine from sodium chloride, these are high concentration strips because usually I'm up a lot higher. But we're right at 200 parts per million, okay? So I do that for a reason. And that is because most of the people run by the general rule that has to do with hyperchlorous acid, which is you have to be less than 200 parts per million, but greater than 100 parts per million for food service. So we just comply with it. So that's that. That way you don't have to re-educate everybody. So that's the chlorine that's in here. So the thing is that, so hyperchlorite, hyperchlorous acid, and hydrochloric acid. So really, you can convert those languages. So hyperchlorite is a high pH chlorine. It's how you store chlorine. Hyperchlorous acid is in a neutral range. That's how you release chlorine. And hydrochloric acid is in a low pH, and that's dissolved chlorine. So that's the chlorine stages that you're using. So this is a neutral stage that falls below hyperchlorite, but above hyperchlorous acid in a range where they don't consider it to be effective as a hypochlorite or as a hyperchlorous acid. Now the reason is very simple. Hyperchlorite is corrosive, hyperchlorous acid is oxidative. Our solution does neither. It does so corrosion dissolves a membrane to deliver the chlorine. Oxidation burns up a membrane to deliver the chlorine. We use ionic product, which is, and both of those are harmful to organics, which humans are 100% organic, so that's why they're pesticides. So we use ionic product. Ionic product doesn't hurt anything. It has the ability to deliver the chlorine past the membrane without damaging the membrane. So anyway, that's that for anybody who understands that. So anyway, our big kicker for, not just for cleaning and using our organochlorine species for cleaning, but also for fogging the air, for cleaning the air. And this is what's really cool about it. It's the only solution. Now, other people will claim that you can fog their solutions in the air. But guess what? Find out if they have a registration as a pesticide, and then see if they have approval for fogging in the air, and you'll find that they don't have one. Okay? We don't need one. We're not a pesticide. That's rules for pesticides. I went even further, and I got my shop, my company, and myself all compliant for FDA food additives. Now, the definition of an FDA food additive is anything that comes within contact of food. That's not necessarily the chocolate in chocolate cake. It can be the plate that the chocolate cake is on, you see? So all that has to be approved. Anything that comes in contact with food ingredients. So this is compliant with the FDA food ingredient. Only uses water, sodium chloride. That's it. There's nothing there. There's no residual chemicals. There's no chemicals at all. So at the same time, you can use this in an ultrasonic fogger and it won't mess it up because it's neutral. You try to put hypochlorous acid in there and its ORP is so high that it destroys these things. If you try to do hypochlorite, it would do the same thing. Now, you wouldn't want to put neither one of those in there anyway because it smells like hell. But people are trying because they're copying what I'm doing, okay? So with this species, you can't even smell the chlorine, but I was going to grab my other purple strips and I forgot. And there's no way to pause the camera. Let me see if I can get a reading on this strip. So this is putting it in the air. We only use cool mist humidifiers so that it doesn't evaporate the water. We're using the water. So what you see coming out of there, oh yeah. So you see, it's coming out in the fog, okay? Now, perfectly harmless. What it does is it neutralizes all the smells in the room, that's for sure. You can cook fish in your house with one of these running, you won't smell the fish, okay? Neutralizes the smell of everything, gets rid of all sorts of... I'm very limited to what I can say without getting myself in trouble. I have to be very careful. So there's certain things that you can talk about, and since it's not a pesticide, there's certain things I cannot talk about, and I can't be misleading about it, so I can't even mention it. It removes all the particulates from the air. They're very highly charged ions. What you see coming out of there, that's the salt. The TDS range of this is about 5,000 parts per million, so it's mildly brackish water, it's salt water. So that's what we're using to make the chlorine. So as the salt that is neutralized comes out and fills the air, each one of those ions is very highly charged, and it's grabbing particulates and it's binding them all together. So then the particulates fall to the ground, so they're no longer in the air. So people with allergies and asthma and stuff like that who like a clean room. I am not saying I treat allergies. I am not saying that I treat asthma. What I'm saying is I can create a clean room that has no triggers that aggravate those conditions. So that's where I got to keep myself out of trouble. So that's what a lot of people like, and like with dogs and stuff. I mean, I have people tell me, how come your dogs don't smell like dogs? Well, I think it's because they're always in this environment, so it neutralizes that bacteria. So what's nice is I don't sell the humidifiers, okay? So you're not going to find them on my webpage. I just get mine at Walmart, okay? They got the Home Medic one right here, holds a gallon of fluid. You put that on a timer in a house, like at my home, I got it running 5 minutes every other hour. That's it. That's it. And a gallon lasts me a couple of weeks at my house. And the solution never breaks down. It's stable for a very long time. Heck, we got it in a cup, in an open cup, just sitting in a room now for 3 weeks, and it's still good. So, and then, the other nice thing is you get these little ones like this, for your car. That one doesn't have a battery in it, so it's got to stay plugged in. That's the one for my van. I keep that in the van. And you can use it from a spray. For a kitchen cleaner, it's unbelievable. You wouldn't think that it breaks up and removes grease. Wait till you try it. Wait till you try it. And you're going to be like, how in the heck does this break up grease? But, even coming out of the spray bottle, and my dogs are going crazy. You're getting a good amount of chlorine there. And I don't really know what else to say about it. It's really some fantastic stuff, I wish I could say more about it, but legally I'm just not allowed to. If you understand chlorine and you understand the things that chlorine does, and you understand what this does, when you use it at your home for whatever it is that you want to use it for, and you think it's working for you, that's because it works. If you want to use it in the kitchen, in the bathroom, you can get rid of all the odor and stuff in the bathroom. That they'll allow me to say, that you can get rid of odor-causing bacteria, stuff like that. And so people with dog kennels love it. Where I got my little doggies from, they use it now exclusively there, that and the peppermint. And I got quite a few other people that use it in that situation. And I just use it as a dog wash. I spray it on my dogs and wipe my dogs off with a towel. Beautiful for them. They never have any skin problems or nothing. In Florida, that's terrible. They all get that acute moist dermatitis, you know, from the fungus and the nastiness that's in the grass and stuff. So, but nah. And these guys, it's funny. I was noticing this morning that when the fogger's running in the truck, they get their noses right up in there and they just breathe it. They like it. I should have my, the other thing is, you know, we also make a neutral solution for this. And both of them pump hydrogen into the air. You know, negatively charged electrons from hydrogen. I should have my ORP meter here. If I put my ORP meter right here in this fog, it'll register reduced ORP. So that's another bonus to it. You know, it's good. Can't say that. You know, just breathing a nice, clean, fresh air. It's about all I could say without getting myself in trouble. Isn't that crazy? You're not allowed to have safe solutions, and you can't tell anybody about them. Welcome to the world. Isn't that nuts? Anyway, I just wanted to do a little video about ultrasonic foggers and how cool they are. I got restaurants that use them. I got all sorts of different people. Gymnasiums. Oh, God, man, let me tell you something. You know, everybody knows gyms stink. I've been in gyms my whole life. They smell like hell. I'm a germaphobe, so for me it's freaking gross, but you know, you got to deal with it. You know, I was in martial arts forever. You know, I started as a young kid, you know, and right up until I think, I don't know, about 5-6 years ago, and I'm done with all that now, but those places are the worst. They're the nastiest because everybody's rolling around on the ground with all their nasty sweat and stuff. Now, you got this going in a gym. Not only no smell, but if there's no smell, guess what? There's no odor-causing bacteria either. So just imagine how much people like that. So the only thing is you don't want to overdo it. I should put that in there. If you're fogging your home or fogging a room or fogging whatever, and you could start to see it in the air, turn it off. You're not supposed to see it. You don't have to see it for it to be there, and you don't have to see it for it to be working. You could see it coming out of here, but then it starts to spread out, and it'll get everywhere. It'll get in every room. The best place to put it is close to the air conditioning return, because then the AC picks it up and starts cleaning the ductwork. I almost said the wrong thing. It starts cleaning the ductwork and stuff like that, and gets throughout the whole house anyway. It doesn't matter. You can't stop it. All the ions are single, and they're all charged in the same polarity, and they're pushing away from each other. They're repelling each other. So they get into everything. You can't stop them. You don't need a fan to blow it around, because only so many will fit in a room, and then they'll start pushing into the next room, and the next room, and the next room, inside your cabinets, inside everything. Anybody who uses it will tell you, if you over fog it and you get it real thick, you'll know, because then you'll have a little bit of the fallout from it everywhere. So you'll see it everywhere, you know. So you'll be like, yeah, this stuff really does get everywhere. Underneath the tables, in the carpet fibers, you name it, it gets everywhere. I had mold mitigation guys, you know, along with the other stuff that they do, you know, before they go into a home and to treat a home, I said, here, fog this first. If nothing else, do it for your employees. One of the worst environments to go into is a home that hasn't had mold mitigation yet, that has a serious mold problem. You can run one of these units in there, and you can drop all those particulates and stuff out of the air. I'm not allowed to say anything more than that. And then you don't have that to breathe in. What's these companies? I don't know what. Serve Pro and these guys, they should be using this. They buy the equipment. They don't buy the solution from me, buy the equipment. So anyway, there's a lot of uses for it. You know, if you want to create a nice, clean environment, you know, that you know is clean, you can tell is clean, especially if you're someone with allergies or something like that, you can tell the difference. Give it a try. You're not going to be dissatisfied. Go to Walmart or whatever, get yourself, man, it's so hot. Summertime in Florida. Look at them sweating like crazy. Go to Walmart, get yourself one of these little things, and that's it, man. I'm ending this video because I'm getting back in the air conditioning.